For 3 days, a black wolf followed me. It never came closer. That terrified me more than an attack. I didn't notice it at first. That's the worst part, it wanted to be noticed, slowly. I was hiking alone, deep into the northern range, the kind of forest where the trees grow so close together that daylight feels filtered, like it's passing through dirty glass. No trails, no signs, just old maps and confidence I probably shouldn't have trusted. The first day was normal. Quiet, peaceful. The forest felt empty, in that calm, honest way that makes you forget how small you really are. I remember stopping near a creek, kneeling down to refill my bottle. That's when the silence felt wrong. No birds, no wind, just my own breathing, suddenly loud. I stood up slowly, scanning the trees. That's when I saw it between the trunks, far back, a shape that didn't belong, black, too black for shadow, still, like it had been placed there on purpose. A wolf, not pacing, not growling, just standing, watching me. I froze. Every instinct screamed at me to move, but I could. The wolf didn't lower its head, didn't bare its teeth, didn't take a step. It just watched. I waited for it to run or charge, or do something wolves are supposed to do. Nothing. After maybe 10 seconds, maybe a minute, I took a step back. The wolf didn't follow, it didn't leave either. It stayed right there between the trees, unmoving, as if it was waiting to see what I would do next. Eventually, I turned and walked away slowly. My heart pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. I didn't run. Running feels like permission. I walked for another hour, maybe more. Every few minutes I stopped, turned around, and there it was again, far behind me. Always the same distance, not closer, not farther. That's when fear settled in, the cold kind. The thinking kind. Predators don't do that. If a wolf wants you gone, it chases. If it wants you dead, it attacks. This one did neither. By late afternoon, I convinced myself it would leave. Wolves are territorial, curious. They don't stalk humans for hours, right? I made camp earlier than planned, a small clearing, barely enough space for a tent and a fire, trees thick on all sides, visibility poor. Bad choice. I knew that even then. As I stacked wood, I felt it again. That pressure between the shoulder blades, the feeling of being watched. I turned. The wolf was there, at the edge of the clearing, sitting now, sitting like a dog. That's when my hands started shaking. It wasn't thin, wasn't desperate. Its coat was thick, dark, almost swallowing the light. Its eyes caught the fire glow, not bright, not wild, focused. I shouted, clapped my hands, threw a rock. The rock landed short. The wolf didn't flinch. It didn't growl, didn't bare its teeth, didn't even blink. It just stood up, turned slightly, and moved back into the trees. Relief hit me like a wave, too fast, because when I sat by the fire later, when the darkness pressed in, when the forest filled with unfamiliar sounds, I saw it again. Same place, same distance. Watching. That night, I barely slept. Every time the fire popped, my eyes snapped open. Every rustle made my chest tighten. I listened for footsteps, for snarls, for the sound of something circling the tent. Nothing, just silence. At some point past midnight, I worked up the courage to unzip the tent a few inches. The fire had burned low, just glowing embers now. And there it was, standing where the light ended. Not inside the firelight, not fully in the dark, right on the edge. That's when it hit me. It wasn't watching me. It was watching the forest behind me. Its head turned slightly, ears forward, body tense, like it was listening for something I couldn't hear. I whispered without realizing it, "Go away." The wolf finally looked at me, just for a second. Then it turned and vanished between the trees. I didn't sleep at all after that. By morning, my nerves were shot, hands numb, head pounding. I told myself I'd imagined most of it. Exhaustion plays tricks, fear fills in gaps. That lie lasted about 5 minutes, because when I packed up camp, I saw the tracks, my own boot prints, and alongside them, large, clean, deliberate wolf tracks, following the same path, always just far enough back. And that's when I realized this wasn't a coincidence. This wasn't curiosity. For some reason I didn't understand yet. The wolf had chosen me, and it wasn't leaving. Day 2 started with the kind of silence that feels deliberate, like the forest was holding its breath. I packed fast, too fast. My hands fumbled with straps I'd tightened 100 times before. I didn't need to look to know it was there. I could feel it. That pressure again, like eyes pressed into my back. When I finally turned around, the wolf was standing on a low ridge behind the clearing, closer than yesterday, but still not close. The distance hadn't changed much, but something else had. Its posture the first day, it had been relaxed. Almost casual now. Its body was tense, weight shifted forward, like it was ready to move, not toward me, but past me. I started walking, so did it. Every time I stopped, it stopped. Every time I turned, it was there, always the same angle, always behind me. Never crossing into my space. By midday, the forest thickened, trees packed tighter, light dimmer, the air colder. I tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was protecting a den, maybe I was moving parallel to its territory. That theory fell apart when I changed direction. I veered east, hard turn. The wolf adjusted instantly, same distance, same calm precision. That's when I stopped thinking of it as an animal. Animals make mistakes. This thing did not. Around noon, I stopped to eat, sat on a fallen log, knife in hand, back against a tree. I didn't see the wolf at first. Then I noticed the birds. They were gone again. No calls, no wing beats. The forest felt hollow. I scanned slowly there, between two trees, closer than it had ever been, still outside what felt like a boundary, still watching. I stood up sharply. The wolf didn't move. I shouted again, louder this time. Nothing. I threw another rock. It landed close enough this time that snow puffed up near its paws. The wolf finally reacted. It took one step back, just one, then stopped. That's when my stomach dropped. It wasn't afraid. It was adjusting. That afternoon, something else started happening. I found my food bag torn open. Not shredded, not scattered, opened. Clean cuts, deliberate. Too clean for a wolf, I told myself. It was rodents. Rational explanations feel good when you're scared, but when I checked the ground, I saw the tracks, small ones, chaotic, and then something else, large, heavy, not wolf. The prints sank deeper into the soil, wide, uneven. I didn't know what made them. I just knew one thing: the wolf tracks circled those tracks. Not mine. As evening came, the wolf appeared again. This time on my left, not behind, still distant, still silent. But now it was positioning itself. I made camp early again. Mistake number 2. As the fire burned low, I started hearing things, branches snapping, too heavy for deer, slow footsteps. Not pacing, stalking. I scanned the darkness constantly. The wolf sat where it always did, at the edge of visibility, but now its eyes weren't on me. They were fixed on the tree line opposite the camp, unmoving, unblinking. I whispered again without thinking, "What do you see?" The wolf's ears flattened. A low sound rolled out of its chest. Not a growl, a warning. That was the first sound it had made. And it wasn't for me. That night, sleep came in fragments, minutes at a time. Every time I drifted off, something woke me. A sound, a feeling, once. I woke up certain something had been right outside the tent. My hand tightened around the knife. I listened, breathing, not mine, slow, heavy, then silence. When dawn finally came, I crawled out of the tent shaking. The fire was gone, cold ash. The forest looked the same, too normal. Then I saw the ground, tracks, circling my camp, large, deep. They didn't cross into the fire ring. They stopped, turned, like something had decided to wait. And just beyond them, wolf tracks, positioned between the forest and me. That's when the thought finally took shape, clear, terrifying. The wolf wasn't stalking me. It was shadowing me, like it knew something else was following. And whatever that was, it was closer now. By the third morning, my body felt hollow, like I'd been poured out and refilled with nerves. My hands shook even when I wasn't cold. My thoughts moved slower, sticky, disconnected. I hadn't slept more than an hour at a time since this started. Sleep is where confidence dies. I packed up without eating food, didn't feel important anymore. Distance did. I needed to move, keep moving. When I stepped away from camp, I noticed something immediately. The wolf wasn't behind me, my chest tightened. I turned slowly, scanning the trees, heart hammering. Nothing. For the first time in 3 days, it was gone. Relief rushed in so fast it almost knocked me over. Then I felt that pressure again, but now it wasn't behind me. I looked ahead on a ridge overlooking the valley I was about to cross. The wolf stood there, waiting, not watching me, watching the land below. That's when fear changed shape. Predators don't move ahead of prey. They cut them off. I hesitated. Every instinct screamed at me to turn around. But behind me, the forest felt heavier, darker, like something had already claimed that space. So I followed the wolf, not because I trusted it, but because I didn't trust what was behind me. As I descended into the valley, the forest closed in, trees taller, ground uneven, visibility shrinking. The wolf moved parallel to me now, sometimes disappearing, sometimes reappearing on higher ground, always keeping pace, always watching the trees, not me. Around midday, the smell hit me, rotting meat, old, sour. I gagged, covered my mouth. A few steps later, I found it, a deer carcass, half buried, ribs crushed, neck snapped. But not eaten, just killed. Claw marks scored the ground around it, deep, violent, too big for a wolf. That's when I noticed the wolf again, standing uphill, staring at the carcass. Its hackles were raised, teeth bared. Not at me, at the woods beyond the body. The air felt thick, charged. I backed away slowly. That's when I heard it, a low, rumbling sound, not a growl, a chuff, deep, close. My blood turned to ice. I never saw what made the sound, but the wolf did. It snapped its head toward the noise, body coiled, ready. I ran. I didn't look back. Branches tore at my arms. My lungs burned. The world narrowed to breath and panic. I ran until I fell. When I finally dared to look, the wolf was there again, closer now than ever before, still not crossing that invisible line, still not threatening, just watching and listening. That afternoon, the forest turned hostile, wind picked up, snow started falling, light faded early. My sense of direction slipped. I checked my map and compass. Everything said I was going the right way. The forest disagreed. Every clearing felt wrong. Every ridge looked familiar, like I was moving in circles. As dusk approached, I realized something terrifying. The wolf was no longer pacing me. It was guarding angles, appearing on ridges, tree lines, narrow passes, places something could ambush from. That night, I didn't bother with a fire. Fire makes you visible. I crouched beneath a rock overhang, knife in hand. Back pressed to stone, the wolf sat 10 yards away, closest it had ever been, still, silent. Its eyes never left the darkness beyond me. Hours passed, my muscles cramped, my eyelids burned. Then a sound, leaves shifting, slow, deliberate, heavy weight moving carefully. I heard breathing again, closer than before. The wolf stood instantly. A deep snarl rolled out of its chest, not loud, controlled. A warning. Something moved in the darkness, low to the ground, smoothly, too quiet. I saw eyes, not reflecting light, absorbing it. That's when I understood something fundamental. The wolf wasn't following me. It was escorting me. And whatever was out there, it was patient, smarter than fear. And it had been waiting for night. Night swallowed the forest whole. No moon, no stars, just thick darkness pressed between the trees. The wind died suddenly, too suddenly. Even the snow seemed to hesitate before touching the ground. The wolf didn't move. Its body was rigid now, muscles tight. Head low, staring into the dark behind me. I didn't dare turn around. Every instinct told me not to show my back. The breathing came again, closer, heavier. I could feel it in my chest, slow pressure, like something testing the air. My fingers cramped around the knife. Sweat froze along my spine, then a twig snapped, not ahead, behind me. The wolf exploded into motion. A sound tore out of its throat, Not a howl, not a growl, a roar, raw, violent, full of warning. I spun around just as something launched from the darkness, fast, low. Silent, a mountain lion, massive, muscle flowing under its coat, eyes locked on my throat. It hit me like a truck. We slammed into the snow, air ripped from my lungs, claws tore at my jacket, hot breath against my face. I screamed, pushed, slashed wildly. The lion's weight crushed me, pinned my arms. Then, impact. The wolf hit it midair, teeth clamped onto fur and muscle, bodies rolled, snow exploded upward. The sounds were unreal, snapping jaws, deep snarls, flesh tearing. I scrambled backward, hands numb, heart trying to escape my chest. The lion screamed. High, sharp, panicked. The wolf was on it now, fast, precise. This wasn't a fight, it was an execution. The mountain lion broke free and ran, vanishing into the trees. The wolf chased it only a few steps, then stopped, watched, made sure it was gone, then silence. The wolf stood there, chest heaving, fur dark with blood. It looked at me, not aggressive, not afraid, just aware. For the first time since this began, it stepped closer, one step, then another, stopping just a few feet away, close enough that I could see its breath. The scars along its muzzle, the intelligence in its eyes. It sniffed the air around me, slow, deliberate. Then it turned and walked back into the darkness, just like that. No hesitation, no backward glance. I collapsed into the snow, shaking, laughing, crying, everything at once. I didn't sleep that night. I sat there until dawn, watching the trees, waiting, but nothing came. When light finally filtered through the branches, the forest felt empty. Tracks told the story, the lion's prints, the wolf's, the chaos where they collided, and then only one set leaving, wolf tracks. The lion never came back, neither did the wolf. I hiked out that day on legs that barely worked. Every shadow made me flinch. Every sound tightened my chest. But the forest stayed quiet, too quiet. When I reached the edge of the trees, when the open land finally appeared, I turned back one last time for a second, just a second. I thought I saw a dark shape on the ridge, watching. Then it was gone. I never saw that wolf again. But I still think about it, about the way it never came closer, never attacked, never left. Because now I understand, it wasn't stalking me, it was protecting me, and whatever lived in those woods was far worse than a wolf. It's strange what stays with you after something like that. Not the pain, not the fear, not even the moment you almost die. It's the silence afterward. I reached civilization by late afternoon, a road, a parked truck, human noise. I should have felt safe. I didn't. That night, I slept indoors, 4 walls, a locked door, and still. I woke up every few hours, certain something was standing just beyond the light. Watching in the days that followed, people asked questions. What attacked you? How did you survive? Why were you alone out there? I never knew how to explain the wolf. If I said it out loud, it sounded impossible, like something from a story. Not something that happens in real forests, so I kept it simple. A mountain lion attacked me. That part was easy to believe. Weeks passed, then months. The scratches healed, the nightmare softened. But something never quite settled. I started reading, researching predator behavior, territory patterns, attack reports. That's when I found it, a ranger bulletin buried deep in an archive, missing hikers, livestock kills, unconfirmed sightings. A mountain lion larger than normal, unusually patient, known for stalking humans. They called it an anomaly, a predator that didn't rush, didn't charge, didn't waste energy. It followed, waited. Learned routines exactly like it had done to me. Then I found something else, a separate report, black wolf sightings. Same region, same months, always appearing near hikers, never attacking, never approaching. Rangers thought it was coincidence. Alone dispersing male, odd behavior. No attacks, no livestock losses, just sightings. Always watching, that's when the pieces finally fit. The wolf wasn't protecting me, not specifically. It was protecting its territory. And I had wandered into the path of something that didn't belong there. A rival predator, one that hunted differently, One that hunted people. Wolves don't like competition, especially not silent ones. The wolf never came closer because it didn't need to. It wasn't testing me. It was tracking the lion, using me as bait or maybe as an alarm. If the lion moved, the wolf moved. If the lion attacked, the wolf would be there. That realization unsettled me more than the attack itself, because it meant something else. If the wolf hadn't been there, I wouldn't have made it out, not even close. Sometimes I think about the moment after the fight, the way the wolf looked at me, not with affection, not with loyalty, but recognition, like it was checking something off. Threat gone, balance restored. I still hike, still camp, but I pay attention now to silence, to patterns, to the way animals behave around me, because I learned something out there, something people forget. Not everything that follows you is hunting you. Sometimes it's watching what's hunting you, and somewhere in those woods, if you listen closely, you might still feel eyes on your back, not waiting for weakness, but waiting for something else to make a mistake.